We are live.
Okay, great. Hello, my name is Henrik Rasmussen. I am the investor relations head at TDeFi, accelerator and incubator. Today we have the joy of being joined by EQ8. EQ8 is presenting their project, which is a decentralized data market play, and we look forward to hearing your presentation. So thank you and welcome, guys.
Thank you. Thanks, Henrik. My name is Madhur. I am the founder and CEO of EQ8 Network, which is a decentralized data marketplace. So if I could just share my screen and start with the presentation, if that's all right with you.
Of course.
All right. Can you see my screen now?
Yep.
All right. So as I mentioned, EQ8, is a decentralized data marketplace that monetizes users' attention, intellectual property, and consensual data sharing. And the best part is that we have been granted a patent, which is a system and a method patent based on DLT, distributed ledger technology. All right. So when we talk about data, the first thing that comes to our mind is, everybody is saying that data is the new oil. But, the problem is that our data is being abused, misused, and brokered without any consent or incentivization by, intermediaries, as well as, some giants who misuse our data. Just to give you an idea, the kind of problem that we're talking about here is, whether it is data misuse, data manipulation, survey scams, or, lack of privacy, or unauthorized data brokerage. These are the things, apart from, these are some of the things, which I could present here, which currently the data industry or the market research or advertisement industry in particular are facing, whether it is, fake, identities or bots, or, the ad fraud, where you're never sure how many impressions that you're getting are even real or fake. So these are the kind of problems that we're talking about. And as you know, with great or huge problems comes huge market opportunity. And this is where, our market opportunity lies, which is about $273 billion worth of opportunity by 25-26, right? And primarily, as I mentioned, we are catering to 3 different market segments. Although our use case or our core product is relevant to other areas as well, but for now, we are beginning with education or job tech market, market research industry, as well as advertisement industries, basically social media advertisements. And then, as I said, for us, the biggest competition is how things are being done currently or right now without blockchain. And that is why, we providing this solution is a game changer. And on top of that, as I mentioned, we have been granted a system and method patent. So basically, it restricts organizations to conduct any kind of assessments, which is primarily Q&A based, using any form of DLT. This is with respect to India. So it's a national patent, Indian patent, right? So, what do we offer? Just wanted to mention that, just to break it up, there are 4 aspects to what we do. One is the data ownership and control. So we provide the users entire control over their own data, which means not even EQ8 can access their data without their permission, or, we cannot use it for any purposes. Secondly, a secure data exchange protocol, wherein the data requester and data provider, they are being connected via smart contracts, and on the basis of the predefined or agreed conditions, the data is being exchanged for rewards in the form of, EQ8 tokens. There could be other tokens as well, which we'll cover in the later part. Then the third part is intellectual property rights. These, when I talk about intellectual property rights, whether we talk about market research industry or advertisement industry, so basically your content plays a major role here. And another problem with content creator is that, their intellectual property at times is misused, or it gets stolen, or somebody else claims that. So by implementing NFT standards in this, we are able to provide that intellectual property rights, where, we provide them protection against plagiarism and all those things. And then the final part is user incentivization. So when a user comes to our application or our DApp, and whether he spends time watching ads or taking surveys or participating in polls, any kind of feedbacks, so we monetize them for their time as well as attention. So for us, we wanted to have as much quantifiable data as possible, because that is how it is going to work for the data requesters. So this is what we primarily covers the at a broad level our solution. And then just wanted to mention about our current status with respect to the app development or DApp development. We started earlier with Ethereum and GoChain, and we started with the problem area of manipulation of results, impersonation, paper leaks, and those kind of, primarily focusing on the edtech industry, right? Because especially in India, that is a huge problem, right? But then over these last couple of years, we also upgraded our solution to and we wanted to reach out to common masses and see where our current solution can help them. And that is why we pivoted to market research and ad tech sort of industry. So currently, our product is at MVP stage. It is under testing, and there are a few key features that I would like to highlight that makes our product unique as well as secure. One is the non-fungible as well as non-transferable token minting engine, wherein a user would be able to mint questions or any form of intellectual property and have an indisputable claim over its ownership as well as for reward claims. Then second is on-chain results. So basically, when we talk about whether it's a survey or a test or anything, currently what happens is that the assessment or the market research is survey is happening using a centralized database, and majorly there is that is where the manipulation of data happens before it even reaches the final survey creator. A lot of data is fudged, and there is no way for them to be sure whether the data is actually genuine.
Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, right? That's what we don't know.
Correct. Right. So that is the thing, and that is where the way we have done is that the entire execution of results is happening on chain and not off chain, because the idea was so that the smart contracts can interact with each other, and then they can have come end-to-end transparency as well as security, and which can be verifiable from blockchain itself. Then the third component for our product comes as IPFS, which is the decentralized data storage layer, you can say, which is used for storing of files and data, and then securely you can share data on a peer-to-peer network. And finally, we also had this thing in mind that we wanted to reach out to as many as organizations, as many as existing tech platforms as possible, and that is why we have created a REST API, atomic REST API module, wherein existing, whether it's a learning management system or a survey module or any social media app, they can integrate with our solution and directly conduct their polls and surveys and everything on chain. And rest, everything can be easily integrated with them. So initially the problem was of scalability as well as the cost. When we were there on Ethereum, we shifted to Harmony, GoChain, and currently we are moving on to layer 2 solutions, which is Polygon and Harmony. I just would like to highlight here that we are blockchain agnostic, which means we can be deployed on different chains at the same time. So just to begin, we are focusing on Polygon and Harmony one, because the costs and scalability issues are thoroughly tested there. All right. So just wanted to give more clarity as to how we make money, or how at a very broad level how our product works or how it works, right? So basically, it starts with a data requester creating a campaign. It could be an ad campaign, it could be a survey, or any form of assessment that they want to, and they essentially lock up X amount of amount of value in terms of equate tokens, right? And this is how it interacts with the smart contracts. So for example, somebody wanted to create a survey and issue rewards worth $10,000. They would have to get $10,000 worth of equate tokens, put it in a reward pool or staking smart contract, which is there. Then they could use their questions or their content if they want to, we cannot stop them. Or they could also, have access to the questions or any kind of content that is created by the community or content publisher, where they will have this, option of creating a question in the form of NFT. Which means, so for example, if I have created a question which says, what is your name? I'm just taking a very simple example. So, somebody will not be able to use that particular question in a survey, and they will have to pay a part of their reward pool as royalty fee to the question creator, which ensures that, there is a decentralized, I mean, the participation from community and everything is decentralized, not just the infrastructure. The entire process is being decentralized. Secondly, then what happens is, the third role is the data provider. He's the person who's taking up the surveys, or sharing his responses, his insights and information. For that also, that particular data point is also generated as an NFT, and then put in the data pool or an NFT pool, wherein once the data points that the data requester was looking for, we have reached that threshold, that data can be exchanged, and the survey taker or the data provider can be rewarded in form of equate tokens, as we were doing it for the content publishers. And while we do all this activity, we take up to 1% of the total reward pool, you can say, or as the network fee for facilitating secure data aggregation and exchange. Okay, so we started, just to give you a heads up, we started in 2017. That is when we came up with this idea of conducting assessments, whether it's a test or a survey, and those kind of Q&A related things on blockchain. And that is when we filed a patent in India, of course, and then we incorporated in 2018. Prior to starting this, I was working for Government of India as in Ministry of Science and Technology. So I quit my job and then started this venture. So in 2018 we started this. We also did a POC with Government of Bahamas. We have done a couple of POCs. This is all with respect to the edtech side of the industry that we're talking about, where the examinations or the manipulation of data or results was our key use case. We wanted to prevent that. And then we launched on Ethereum in 2019. We also did a POC with Vyapam, again, one of the biggest, assessment or government agencies who conduct mass level examinations. So that was also there. But because of the, the issues with scalability and cost, we could not actually have a product which was financially viable. And that is why we then started building on, tools and ways to reduce this gas and transaction costs. And then finally, if we talk about 2021, where we are right now, we are currently having our deployment on Matic and Harmony. Our mobile app is being released very shortly. Our web version is already available, and and that is where so the next plan for next couple of years is already being planned out, where we want to have zero knowledge proof integration, prediction markets, cross-chain integration, and a huge part of this will also get integrated with DeFi, wherein the users could have additional source of making money or gaining returns and via DeFi staking. And then finally, towards the end, what our plan is, by end of 2023, we will be opening this completely to the community, wherein all the decisions related to the transaction fees or the reward pool size and all those things will be governed by the community and not just our entity. But for the couple of years, since we get the traction, it is something that we take responsibility for, and that is why that is there on the roadmap. Okay, so as I mentioned, we have a strong team from different areas, from different domains, who have the required kind of expertise to do their jobs. As I mentioned, I have from government background. I have an experience of working with government for over 10 years. And my co-founder was also working with me in the government, and but she was into the intellectual property sides, and that is when we got this patent done. Neeraj, is an IT professional. He has just joined recently, 6 months back. And prior to joining us, he had an over 20 years of experience working for top 7 Fortune 500 companies, one of them being Optum. And then when we talk about the technical side of things, our CTO, she is well versed with not just blockchain, but also quantum cryptography. She has a double MTech in CS and IT, and the kind of experience working with giants like PwC. So, and finally, Tushar, who heads our partnerships, he is also a seasoned, uh, guy who has a lot of experience in intellectual property, patents, and we are also integrating another tool which is by Omera, the founding organization where Tushar is also working. Then when we talk about our advisors, again we have diverse set of advisors, whether it is cybersecurity, whether we talk about business, whether we talk about edtech industry or market research industry. They all have been a part of
yeah.
Sure.
When you talk about cybersecurity, how do you actually secure the user's data?
So there are two ways to doing it. One is, by using IPFS to store the data, where the hashes will be with the users without their permission. That data will not be accessed by anyone. Secondly, we are also integrating with a solution called Prevail. It's a US based firm where their co-founders, Mr. Sanjeev Verma, is also on our advisory board. So it's a cybersecurity solution where they provide end-to-end security for end-to-end data encryption for any kind of file sharing as well as email. So that is where in the roadmap it is there that we'll also have that capability, because it will be more user friendly, and that is where this will be integrated with us. So this is regarding our advisory board. I just wanted to briefly talk about our token sale plan. Initially, we were planning to launch, in this quarter, but because of the market conditions and also because we wanted to be sure that this is the right time and we are not in a hurry, we are focusing right now on product development, which is underway. And by the end of, let's say, August, we'll have the complete product ready and tested. And that is probably when we would actually want to do the token sale. But just for your information and for information of people who are watching us, just give you an idea. What we are planning to do is, so basically it is going to be an ERC20 token, which is a utility token. The eligibility will be subject to KYC and AML, and token vesting will be up to 24 months. This is for private sale investors, and the current price. So this is subject to change again, but just wanted to give it out to you guys that we are very concerned about the token valuation and the pricing, and that is why if you see the maximum supply that we have thought of right now is 1 billion tokens at a valuation fully diluted market cap of 15 million, which is like highly undervalued. If you see the kind of market we have and the kind of whether it's patent and all the things that we have, it is quite undervalued. Then the hard cap or the total amount that we are looking to raise is $1.5 million, because a lot of amount has been bootstrapped already. A lot of things we have the funds to complete the development and all those things. Major
who has been investing and backing you so far? Have you paid yourself, or have you had some early
so
funding?
most of it was has been done by me, and apart from that, a few close family, friends, and people who believed in the project have backed us, because as I said, I was an early investor with Bitcoin, and there was not a requirement as such for me to raise funds until and unless we are absolutely sure with respect to the product and everything. I didn't want anybody to sort of be a part of this. But now that we are at this stage, our core focus is investments and investor relations, and that is why, because post our launch, the major chunk will be marketing as well as the operation part. For that, we would require a lot of capital to begin with, and that is why this is the plan. As we go forward, we might raise another round depending on how things work out.
Right. Now, you say that that you're looking, and you will of course be looking for investors. What would be, if I was to say this to someone, what would be my 3 unique selling points that I would mention to an investor? And what kind of investor are you looking for?
So primarily we are looking for investors who already are from this industry. So we are not just looking for money, we are also looking for connections. As you know, as I mentioned, one of the strategy for us is we are integrating or partnering with a lot of existing tech products and sort of rewarding their users. So that will be helpful if in case the investor comes from a market research background, or he has portfolio investments in whether DeFi or these kind of products which are suitable to our market. Second, the question that you mentioned, the top three takeaways or the top three USPs for our product is, number one, the data, when I say the data exchange protocol, that is, the security part, because it's a huge problem area. And quite frankly, most, if you talk about the projects that are already working on this area, they're either collecting data from web browsers or other sources, but not actually focusing on the service or the human behavior part of it, whether it's through a test or survey, things like that. But this is one area where then second part is the use of NFT. If you've been a part of this community, you would understand the currently the use case for NFT is primarily digital arts, right? But in our case, it is more relevant to actual value that we bring. So like for example, a question, it depends.
Wouldn't
the
you
value
want?
of
No,
that,
sorry, go on, go on.
yeah,
Sorry.
the value of that NFT depends on its usage, and not just arbitrary value of art or things like that. And thirdly, the patent protection that I was mentioning about, India being the third largest data producer. We have that, this unfair advantage where nobody will be able to have this kind of a solution in India, right? So these are three, points I would like to highlight.
Mm-hmm. Wouldn't this be interesting for the ad industry itself, so that they can verify their products to the market and the people that they sell to? I think this is an amazing application potential for the existing industry, and there will probably be people in that industry that would be happy to invest with you too.
Yes, correct. Because the problem with ad industry right now is, when we pay for a ad, we're not sure the kind of impressions that we are getting, are they even genuine or not, and that impacts the ROI and the decision making, all those things. So that is where that is why we have also focused on advertisement industry.
Yeah, I can totally see that happening. The other thing, what is your you say you're planning your token sale in August. What does your roadmap look like when you have some pilot projects ready? What does your overall roadmap look like?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, our app will be ready by the end of August, and maybe we'll to be on a safer side, because when we talk about reward distribution, we don't want smart contracts to have bugs, right? Because otherwise it will be a problem. Although we'll have bounty programs and all those things, but to be on a safer side, September end is where our product will be thoroughly tested and all, and by that time we will already have been integrated with a couple of partners. To give you an example, Youth for Works is one of the partners that we have tied up with. What they're doing is they already have over 5.5 million users existing. They have tie-up with universities and colleges all across India. They also have a tie-up with Government of India. They are already conducting tests, surveys on their platform. By integrating with them, we'll be able to get hold of the user base that they already have, and that is from where our core onboarding of the users on our platform will begin. But at the same time, we are also going to reach out to advertisement houses, and all those stakeholders to get partnerships and pilot projects.
Mm-hmm. Okay, how big is your team?
Currently, there are about 8 people in the team who are working full time. And apart from that, there are about, I'll say 7 to 8 more who are associated with us on a part-time basis. That includes our vendors as well as, the people, those who are working with us.
Right. So depending on the level of transactions you're going to do, you're definitely going to need a blockchain with very low gas fees. That is definitely sure.
Yes, that's true. And that is why, the idea was we don't want to get restricted to only one blockchain. So for example,
No, no,
tomorrow
no.
one chain would have higher gas fee. At the same time, just by changing the network, we can, do our surveys and everything on some other chain which is having a low cost. So that is the whole idea.
Yeah, so you could have a cross-chain setup where you could
Yes,
use
yes,
several chains. Yeah,
yes.
smart. I like it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I don't have other questions unless there's other things that you need to bring across. I think I have to say thank you, and I look forward to talking with you guys soon.
That's it from my side, and thank you so much, Henrik, once again for taking out your time. I know, you are at an event which is important, and it really means a lot to us, not just me, the entire team. Right? Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Have a great day.